Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Montreal Canadiens franchise mode. As you can see, we are currently actually in a playoff spot with a 23-12-3 record, which is kind of weird because if you look at our roster, it's not the deepest roster, but it's still effective, it seems like. So we got some good chemistry on a couple lines. And then our defensive core chemistry, so maybe that's why we're winning games. And then obviously Carey Price is playing really well, so I don't know what the case is. Also, in like near the end of the last episode, I think it was, Alexis Lafreniere went down, so he's currently out until I think it was March. And we're playing Kulak and Cousins as depth. This affects the chemistry. It doesn't do anything. It's a better fit for Max Domi, and it's a better fit for Kotkaniemi apparently as well. So we'll do that flip. Thanks to the suggestion from whoever suggested that, I can't remember. And then another suggestion actually on, which the thing is at the moment he's a solid enough fourth liner for us because like we could play like Nick Cousins. But yeah, right now Hudon is a solid player right there. So like technically Hudon could be like a center depth kind of guy because he's got decent face-offs, well 75 face-offs. While Nick Cousins could kind of be like a winger depth guy because he's got 74 face-offs. So that's my theory at least. So once Lafreniere's back, they'll both be depth. So we're kind of struggling this month a bit. Yeah, we're definitely struggling this month. 2-5. Alexis Lafreniere is already back, so I guess not. So that's good news that Lafreniere is back, which means Judon, you are out of the lineup. And Lafreniere will move you back up to, I think it was, and also had you on good lineup. Hopefully that gives us a bit of an offensive boost because before the injuries. So we have dropped quite a bit of games, which is not really that good if we want to keep in a playoff spot. The AHL team is below 500 still, so let's get the last two games this month done, and then we'll see where we are in the standings. The last two games were crucial, kind of. Metro is very, very strong this season. And then, yeah, our division isn't really as strong at all because the Lightning have 51 points and are out of a playoff spot. So pretty much everybody in the Metropolitan Division has more points than the last two seeded teams in our division. So that's kind of interesting. Okay, so yeah, I guess we'll continue simulating. Jonathan Drouin's leading us in points now. It was Brendan Gallagher, but I guess Drouin had a better month. Let's go. Let's go to the 14th. Why not? Go to Valentine's Day. But yeah, for some reason, if we're like 500 at the trade deadline, I don't know if I will sim the season or not. We'll see. We won 2 games there. Come on, Carey Price, you could carry us to victory. No, I don't want Alex Goligoski now. Goligoski's too old for somebody to bring in, and we don't really need defensemen. So there is a first trade. So A. Anderson, don't know who that is, and I think it's Jeremy Lakow. I don't know, Lakow. To the Detroit Red Wings for Patrick Nemeth in 3 third-round picks. That Anderson guy must be pretty decent. Must have been somebody at the draft from last year because I don't think it's an actual Detroit Red Wings prospect, if I'm not mistaken. So we are 30-23-3. We're kind of struggling a bit. How's the standings looking now? We are still in that spot, but I'm guessing, yeah, the Metro has 5 playoff spots. So currently we are in that last playoff spot, but we're battling kind of with the Boston Bruins for that one. And Tampa Bay is trying to make a late season comeback. Same with the Panthers. So we gotta start winning games, boys, or else this is gonna be like one of those seasons where we start off strong. Because I've had a couple of those in franchise modes before this, but hopefully that's not the case here. So there's another trade. So Mikko Koivu and Ryan Callahan heading to the Nashville Predators for a second-round pick in Nick Bonino. So Bonino off to Ottawa, which is weird. Another loss. Come on, Carey Price, you could do this. And the Arizona Coyotes coach, Justice Quirk. There's a shootout loss. Come on, boys. We need wins, and we're straight. 31, 25, and 4. Almost at the deadline. Yeah, we're still in that last playoff spot, just barely, because we have more wins than the Bruins do. So games against divisional opponents, like now the Sens are almost making a comeback as well. They're only 5 points back of us too. So it's Eastern Conference teams especially, but just in general, we need to start winning games because it seems like the team's starting to struggle a bit. So I guess we will go right to the trade deadline. I don't think I'm going to be making any trades. Here's another trade. So Pat Maroon and Corey Perry head to Carolina for a first and Killinen. Yeah, Killinen. It's not Killing. Don't know who the heck that is either. We win that game and we lose to Calgary. So we are 32, 26, and 4 at the deadline. Let's just take another look at the standings. So we are still in that spot, just barely. Yeah, this division's getting really tight now. And yeah, the Metropolitan is just insane how good it is. Like the last place team has 68 points and we're in third in our division with 68 points. Damn. Yeah, I'm glad we're not in the Metropolitan. Let's take a look at our player stats currently, see if there's any minus lines, and then we'll make maybe some changes. So the top line, Kotkaniemi is a -3. Maybe that Domi change didn't do anything good. That third line is doing really well though, which is what I'm liking because two of those guys are pretty young. Sint as well. Let's do a flip again with Domi and Kotkaniemi. I don't know if that was the reason why we were losing games, but still. Defensively, the top pairing doesn't seem to be good at all either. So let's see. Yeah. See, that's the thing I like about having a young defensive core like this is you could just kind of flip players around because they're all not in their role. They're all top 6 defenders pretty much, except for Jeff Petrie. So hopefully that little change helps out that top defensive pairing because they were like a -8 I think for Petrie. Hopefully having Mete on that top pairing helps. Or no, it was Juleson. Yeah, Juleson. I get those guys mixed up sometimes. So yeah, let's continue simulating. Even though it is the trade deadline, I honestly don't care where we finish, to be honest, because if we've just missed the playoffs, maybe we get lucky again. But hopefully we make the playoffs, because I kind of want this young team to have experience down the road. And we've just lost 3 games in a row, 4-1. And wow, Mike Riley's on waivers. That's kind of funny, because we traded away him, and now he's on waivers. So the Flyers' bad decision trading for him. I mean, he's not a bad player to bring back, but I'm not going to do that. This is funny. Yeah, we're dropping games here late in the season. We're probably going to miss. Yep, we're definitely going to miss, I think, because we just lost 6 games in a row. Yeah, I think we just lost like 6 or 7 games straight, which means we're probably sliding all the way near the bottom of our division again, which is... 3 wins in our last 4 games. Can we win against Minnesota? No, we cannot. There's a win over Calgary, 36, 34, and 4. Let's take a look at the standings quickly. Yeah, we're all the way down here at 76 points. The last playoff spot has 83 points now. Because we do have more games played, so I guess we're not going to make the... But at least it was bright. The future looks pretty bright for this team because we started off so good. Looks that we didn't make any trades when we needed to or whatnot. So At least Alexis Lafreniere, he's going to grow a lot this offseason probably. And yeah, he's probably going to come back next season at like an 85 or something. And that's definitely going to give us a boost. And also, I think Nick Suzuki is growing really well in the minors, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so we're definitely not making the playoffs now, right? But we're definitely not making the playoffs. Well, I liked our start to the season, but how it ended. Last two games of the year against the Rangers and the Islanders. We lose to the Rangers and we lose to the Islanders. So we finished 38, 39, and 5, so just below 500 after such a good part. Let's take a look at our player stats. Actually, wait, there's still teams that have to play games. So we will do that first just because I want to make sure the stats are updated across the entire league. I'm sounding really tired. It's like literally not even 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm already recording and I have to go to it. So, okay, so Jonathan Drouin, 63 points. Kotkaniemi, 62 points. Basically, our top six did really well, and Lafreniere played really well. Like, if he would have stayed healthy all year, we maybe could have had a better season. Like, he had 30 points in 60 games. He actually had on that fourth line only, I think. It's a C. Well, actually, he was on the power play too somehow. Okay. Petrie, 35 points. Lehkonen, 33. Morgan, 4 points in his rookie. Palin had 27 points. Shillington had 19. Ouellet was still plus 19 this season, so he was not too. Juleson was plus 13. Did Petrie actually fix his plus minus? I didn't even check that. From this little line change that we made. Oh, he was minus 16. So he won. Goaltending wise, Bryce had a really good season. Keith Kincaid, not so much. So maybe it was because of Keith Kincaid that we missed the playoffs. I don't know. Let's take a look at the entire league, who led points and goals and all that, and then we'll take a look at the standings, and then we will sim to the draft lottery results and all that stuff. So once again, I think Nathan MacKinnon leads the league in points, him and Line. So these guys must have some really good chemistry, like they do in real life. So yeah, back-to-back crazy seasons for Nathan MacKinnon. He's now got like 224 points in the last two seasons, and he's a plus 81. So Colorado definitely looking for a Stanley Cup. McDavid also up there with 104 points. Those are the only 100-point guys. Goals scoring, Claude Giroux led with 52. Ovechkin was down here at 44, so he must have dropped off a bit. Goaltending-wise, let's see. The best goaltender this season was Frederik Andersen, it looks like. Yeah, it was probably Frederik Andersen because of those wins. Rookie leaders, Jordan Kyrou, Rookie of the Year with 52 points. Volino was then second with 45. Holtz with 41 was third place. And if Lafreniere would have played a full season, he probably would have been up there in like second or first place for Rookie of the Year, but not this time around. So yeah, that is that. Let's actually check defenseman as well quickly. So Erik Karlsson, 82 points in 82 games. He's going to get the Norris more than likely, unless John Carlson gets it because of that plus minus. Okay, let's actually take a look at the AHL quickly too, because I like how Zubov was doing. Like, the AHL's not done their season yet technically, but let's take a look anyways. So Zubov still having a solid season. It's below 500, but still pretty solid. Dan Vladar's dropped the ball. Like, I thought this guy was going to be a good tender because of how last year in Providence, but this is at all. Maybe Providence. Okay. Wins. We're going to check the standings first, yeah, and then we'll check this. We'll do the simming. I'm all over the place this morning, and just like I'm like half asleep kind of to an extent because I woke up maybe like an hour ago at the most. So Vegas finished first. We were probably one of the worst teams, right? Maybe not one of the worst teams. Just based on how we played the second half, we probably were down. Struggled a lot. Defensively, we were one of the best defensive teams, though, which is pretty good considering we didn't make the playoffs. Missed the playoffs. And they were like, yeah, they just had a really bad, like, I guess, goals for. Actually, they were scoring more than they were allowing, so they must have just luckily missed out, or unluckily missed out. Power play percentage, we were probably around, 19.2%. And our penalty kill, probably also around the middle with 82%. Most shorthanded goals this season was the Calgary Flames. How much shorthanded goals did we have? We only had 2 shorthanded goals. And we were above 500 on the road, and then we were below 500. The awards and all that. I'm curious who's going to win the Stanley Cup in year number 2. I forget who won it in year number 1. So we passed both of our owner goals, which is good. So it makes it a somewhat successful season. But yeah, I don't remember who won the Stanley Cup in year number 1. It's like, it feels so long ago, but it was literally only like a couple weeks ago. Or a week ago or 2. Yeah, 2 weeks ago probably. Anyways, we'll see once we find out the awards and all that, and then we will look at the draft class and all that, find out where we're drafting. We'll do our draft interviews, and that's pretty much it. So hopefully we have a good prospect coming into the system from this draft, because if we find another good line mate for like Alexis Lafreniere, we also have Cole Caulfield who could make the NHL soon too, so yeah, we should be able to get a lot of good young talent in this team. And the Boston Bruins are the Stanley Cup champion this year. The Milwaukee Admirals are the... Let's take a look at all those individual awards and all that. I don't remember who won in year number 1. It might have been Winnipeg. No, it was Vegas. Boston and Vegas are Stanley Cup champions. Vegas trophy this season, so they were looking for another cup. And it was Boston and Vegas in the finals. So Vegas went to 2 straight Stanley Cup finals, and now in their history they've been in 3 Stanley Cup finals. In their takes home his 2nd straight. Or the heart goes to Gabriel Landeskog though, which is kind of interesting. That one must have been a bit of a toss-up between him and McKinnon since they had the same amount of points. Carlson takes home to Norris. The Lady Byng going to the Pasternak, taking home the Conn Smythe. Tuukka Rask. The Jack Adams. Ryan O'Reilly takes home the Frank Jaselki. Landeskog to Lindsay, and Giroux the Maurice Richard. Anybody in the minors win an award for us? I doubt it, but... Oh, that Mahalik guy. I think that guy was like the top 5 pick. That guy I was looking at the draft last year. That was an EA-generated guy. I think he was playing in the AHL this season for Detroit. Okay, so nobody in the AHL win awards for us, but whatever. Okay, so let's get to those draft lottery results. We have, I think, the 5th best. Hopefully we could get number 1, because I really good pick. And number 8, so we fell back 2 spots, which is not good, but I mean 8 is still not horrible. Islanders went all the way from 9 to number 1, so yeah, the Islanders getting pretty lucky with that one. Okay, so let's take a look at what we could get at number 8. View the draft class. Okay, so number 8, there's early, but might. Yeah, I might look at him, because we do need defensive prospects first. Maybe this guy even. He might be projected to go 6th, which would be a nice steal if we could get him. But he's looking like a 3-year ETA. Yeah, we'll do our interviews first. See if we could find out a little bit more about those guys. And then you guys should go after at the draft and all that. We probably didn't lose anybody to retirement. Doesn't look like it. Marion Ho to... Okay. And then we got our coach retirements. We did not lose anybody, it looks like. Yeah, we didn't lose anybody in the minors either. Okay, so retired players that are now a scout. So Andy Green's a scout, Jeff Carter's a scout, and Dennis Seidenberg is a scout. Interesting. Nobody became a coach yet. Let's do our draft interviews. So let's go by defenseman, because we are more looking for... So if I could get that guy, I'll be really happy. Like, I don't know if we can move up to get him, but that guy would be really interesting because he's an elite prospect, and he's supposed to go 7th overall. Like, I don't know guys if they're elite. Ask them about how soon they're ready to play in the NHL. Readiness. Let's see his play style. So he's a two-way defenseman, okay. And let's ask him about his personality. And okay, so he's a well-rounded player. Okay, that's good. Yeah, I don't know about that guy. If he's a top 4D, he's still good, but he's 3 years out. I would prefer that elite defenseman if we can. Yeah, that elite defenseman, I might try and trade up for him because he's looking pretty good. Yep, he's looking really good. So I think we might have to try and move up like a spot or two, because currently in the central scouting ranking, he's ranked at number 6, while our scouts say he's at number 7. So we might have to trade up 2 spots, but we'll see about this guy too. Interview him. Yeah, this episode might be a bit longer just because of all this interview stuff, so I apologize for that, guys. So let's talk about his readiness. And he says he needs a few seasons as well, so he's probably a top 4. And he's a defensive defenseman, which I don't really like defensive defensemen, but we could use some. Personality, just because I want to make sure they actually don't mind losing games. He gets along with everybody good. And besides, we don't want a bad apple that's just going to lose morale if he doesn't get enough ice time and then take down the entire team. He's 3 years out. My scouts are recommending him. Investing an offensive defenseman. Same with this guy. But those guys go later in the draft. Do we know everything about this Cutler guy? I think so. I want this Cutler guy, I think. Which means we might have to try and move up. Let's also interview one more player just for something else. Let's go. Who do we want to interview? We know most of these guys in this first round, it looks like. Go to a second round pick. So if we're drafting all the way like here, there's some defense review. Okay, why not? Since the scout right to us. Style, readiness, probably a top 6 defenseman, right? He's a few years away. Okay. So yeah, he's probably a top 6. And he's two-way defenseman. And final thing, let's just talk about his weakness actually too. His physicality is not there. He's more of a skilled player, so he might be actually an offensive defenseman. And this two-way defenseman could hit too. Well, actually, he is a two-way defender, but he's not very. Final thing, let's just check if there's any gems, and then we'll actually check this, what is it, progress reports. So I don't know if there's any gems this year. Doesn't look like there's any gems. That's my thing. So let's take a look actually at our progress report. And then we'll pretty much wrap up this episode. Sorry about it being like probably around 20, maybe it's not that. So Kotkaniemi up to an 86 overall, Morgan Frost up to 83. Yeah, so we're getting some really good growth from those youngsters. Suzuki's a 79, so he's going to be jumping to the NHL next year, which is good. Paling, which means we're going to have to start moving guys. In the system, let's just go by overall currently. So Cole Caulfield's up to a 76. How did he play in his seconds in 62 games? I think he's AHL eligible this next season, but he's not ready for the NHL just yet. He's taking a bit to grow, probably because of his physical strength and whatnot. Zubov did not grow at all, so that's a bummer. He probably won't make it to the NHL. But some guys in the 70s and whatnot. So, guys, that is going to do it. Just don't know what we in the draft. So, anyways, let me know what you think about all that sort of stuff down below. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.